Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It's June the 30th, the last day, and we're looking at Psalm 15 and 16. So we have, in Psalm 15, we have the true worshippers. Now, David is the king of Israel. He's under the old covenant. He's in a covenant relationship with God by blood. He's been circumcised, and he's living his life under the Mosaic law. Let's have a listen to see how he describes his life and his experience there. He says, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle, and who will dwell in thy holy hill? And then he answers his own question. He says, he that walketh uprightly, and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. Let's look at those three. First of all, he lives his daily life. He walks. You see, the idea of walking is the progression of a daily life. He walketh uprightly. He is like a plumb line. He is upright before the Lord. This is what the Lord expects of those in the old covenant. This is what the Lord expects of all men, even those outside of grace. He expects them to walk uprightly. He worketh righteousness. You see, a person that wants to abide in the tabernacle of the Lord, a person who wants to dwell in the holy hill, is a person that must do righteous things. He must do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord. Now, right through 1st and 2nd Kings and Chronicles, we have the list of the names of the kings of Israel. And it'll say, such and such did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, as did his father, and so on. His mother's name is so on. His mother is the one who taught him to live uprightly and to do what is right. And then it'll say of other kings, he did that which was wicked in the sight of the Lord. You see the contrast there. You see, under law, there's these two designations. They're either the righteous or they are the wicked. Of course, this is also true of those outside of Israel, those amongst the Gentile nations. They also are the righteous or the wicked. Let's see what else he says about those that want to abide in the tabernacle and dwell in the holy hill. He says they walk uprightly, they work righteousness, and they speak the truth in his own heart. You see, what a man says in his own heart to himself, is it the truth? Or is it self-deception? Is it the deception of hypocrisy? Is it the deception of pride? Is it the deception of covetousness? Is it the deception of lies? You see, whatever a man speaks in his own heart, it needs to be the truth. Now then, says David, the ones who dwell in the holy hill, the ones who go up to meet the Lord in the holy hill of Zion, they must walk uprightly, they must work righteousness, and they must speak the truth in his heart. He also says, he that backbiteth not with his tongue. He doesn't answer back in a bitter way, nor doeth evil to his neighbour. This is a person who never does evil things to those who he lives alongside. He doesn't take up a reproach against his neighbour, in whose eyes a vile person is condemned. Now, what he says is this, is that vile people in his eyes are condemned. They are contemptible. He does not look upon all men the same. He looks upon the righteous with honour and praise. He looks upon the evil with contempt and with condemnation. You see, he loves righteousness. He loves the righteous, but he hates evil and he hates the wicked. But He honoureth them that fear the Lord. You see, the person that goes into the tabernacle and the one who goes up the holy hill is one who honours those that fear the Lord. What else does he say? He says the true worshipper is one who sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. So he makes an oath, and that oath may turn out to have been to his own detriment. He may be out of pocket. He may have discovered himself to have been hurt by the oath that he makes, but he doesn't change his oath. No, because he honoureth his own word. He putteth not out his money to usury. He doesn't use his wealth as a means of earning money off the poor. He doesn't take a reward against the innocent. You see, a bribe could never be something that the true worshipper could do. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. Wonderful, isn't it? This is what real worship was, and this was what real righteousness was in the old covenant. Of course, none of them were ever Christians. They didn't come into this because of a conversion experience. They came into this because they were members of the children of Israel, circumcised and honourable and faithful to the Lord their God. Now in in Psalm 16, we have a prayer of confidence. Now, at the beginning it says that this is a Mitchum of David. Now, a Mitchum means that it's a psalm that is particularly a teaching psalm. There's something to learn. There's something that when it's sung, the people that hear it and the people that sing it learn about the Lord. Let's read it together. He says, preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. We've already said in previous Psalms, David is concerned about preserving his human life. His life is in danger often. And in the Old Covenant, it was very important to preserve life, very important to preserve the life of a father and a mother so that they might have children. Very important to preserve the children, because in the children the name of the family and the inheritance is passed on. He says, preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. I am trusting you, God, to preserve me. O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, thou art my God, my goodness extendeth not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent, in whom is all my delight. Their sorrows shall be multiplied, that hasten after another God, that drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names upon my lips. David says, it's a Mitchum of David, he says, I will not participate in the idolatry of the nations. He says their sorrows will be multiplied because they hasten after another God, and their drink offerings of blood I will not offer. I won't offer blood offerings like that, and I will never even mention the names of their gods upon my lips. You see, the Lord is the portion of my inheritance and my cup, and thou maintainest my lot. David is saying, God has given me a particular territory, a particular lot. It is my allotment. It is the place where I live and where my family is and where my plants grow and where my cattle and my sheep are. He said, and that place is a pleasant place. He says, the lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. You see, God had been gracious to David. God had given to David and to his family, probably in and around the area of the city of Bethlehem, he'd given them pleasant pastures. Now that's the goodness of God. He says, I will bless the Lord who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. He says the Lord is right next to me. I can touch him. Okay? For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. So David is saying that even when I die, even when my flesh will rest in hope, it rests in the hope of the resurrection. Because thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, that is in death, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. My physical body will die one day. My flesh will rest, but it rests in the hope of the physical resurrection. And I'm going to stand again, as Job said, I'm going to stand again upon the earth. And my password is the last verse. It's verse 11. Often this verse is used to think of the Christian life. And we might do that. We might be encouraged to think it's a Christian life. But in its original context, it's David's life. And it's David's life under the Old Covenant. He says, thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy, and at thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. So what he's saying is this. He's saying, Lord, show me how to live my life under this covenant relationship with you. Show me the path of life, because in your presence is fullness of joy. You see, David's saying, show me how to live my mortal life, because when I pass over Jordan and I enter into resurrection life, in your presence there is fullness of joy, and at your right hand there will be pleasures forevermore. What a glorious prospect David had, and what a glorious prospect we all have too. Well, what a wonderful passage today. Looking forward to speaking to you again tomorrow, and God bless you. Bye for now.